All right, good afternoon. It's day 2 of Hong Kong Art Week. We're starting out here by the harbor on Hong Kong Island. And, you know, we had a pretty slow morning, had some problems editing video, but at least we started to upload our travel vlogs already. Nonetheless, got to do a few things this morning. We had coffee in this place called IDFC, right? I don't beep care is what it stands for. And that was really good. That was actually really good.
And it was really good. Now, IDFC actually stands for I do/don't effing care. And it's funny because they seem to really care. It is delicious. We had a Wheeler Columbia as an espresso. It was punchy and a little bit pungent, which seems to be the way that Hong Kongers like their espresso. And because of the high level of coffee culture here in this city, even though this is a very small, not so well known cafe in the corner of Causeway Bay, coffees were delicious. And you know, it's really difficult to have a bad cafe here in Hong Kong. Now, we were on our way to Art Basel, but we got an email that we couldn't get in quite yet, so we stopped by Chim Chai Kee in Central, one of the best wonton noodle places. When you come here, order the king prawn. It is the first thing on the menu, and it's served really, really hot. Delicious, do not miss it. And then right next door, there's this bubble tea place called Silk, and we just picked one up because the wonton noodles were really hot. So, you know, the weather's been really back and forth. While we were drinking the tea, we came across our first mural being done during the HK Walls program. So this is Shaw Dan. She's a Chinese artist from Guangzhou, and these are really early stages because she is a figurative painter, and a lot of her paintings look very photorealistic. So it'll be interesting to see what it will look like when she's done. We also saw another female artist with a completed mural. This is Alice Paschini, I believe, from Rome. And this is in Sheungwan. That entire area behind PMQ is full of murals now, and a lot of new ones for this year's edition of HK Walls. Hong Kong's always a reunion. This is me getting together with my boy Rabbi, who we worked with in Manila in 2015. Most of you have seen his work. And that's one of the cool things about HK Art Week, is the reunions you get to have and the people you get to meet.
Now, Art Central used to be in this tent, and last year it was not. It was also at the convention center. But this year we see we return to the tent. I think everyone's excited because this is kind of the quintessential Art Central experience.
As soon as you enter into Art Central, you come across this. This is Noriko Tsuneyama's A Sultry World. And it's actually an art piece from 1995 that's performance art, so it gets repeated over and over. But this was our first time to see it. There's a woman with a giant dress, and you basically go under her skirt. You climb under, make your way towards the center, and she's sitting there in the middle on kind of like a giant stool. Now, you cannot bring cameras inside, and you cannot take pictures inside because, well, that lady's legs are in there. And the only way to really experience this is to go inside for yourself. So we sent Nika inside to go experience the artwork, and here's what she had to say afterwards.
This is like a trust experience where you go inside this woman's skirt, right, which is supposed to be a very private space and area, and like the performer is trusting you, and you are trusting the performer that it's okay to be there, and that you're not gonna do anything to make them feel unsafe, and that you will not feel unsafe as well. Yeah, they make you read this board about like how women wish that they were skunks, so that when people interfere or try to go beyond their safe space, right, or like try to make them feel unsafe, that they can release this odor, diba? That's what skunks do, and to like repel those people who make them feel unsafe. So when you go in there, it smells like lavender. It's very nice. There are pillows. It's comfortable. I actually felt very safe, and it's noisy out here, and in there it's kind of solemn, right? And because of this velvet like burnt rust color, There's a very, very warm glow inside. And then there are these books where you can write down a message or anything that you feel like writing down. It's a safe space.
And a safe space is a good way to jump off into the rest of the show, which I found, the show seems to have a lot of pieces that, I don't know, they're a bit less about building a collection and more about things that you can display in your own safe space. So you see the topics are about things that are connected to your life. Like this piece here, this is a sculpture that casts a shadow of the skyline of Hong Kong with all of the lights, and it's made out of items that are found in the night markets and alleyways. So I don't know how this can be displayed in your home, but it does have that sense of approachability. Yeah, it's a really good example of the kind of art that you find at Art Central. Things that you can recognize from your daily life, and maybe they'll find their way into your home or studio. Here we have a nice bronze statue outside a home. You go inside and there are paintings by other artists, like this is Kila Chung's Goodbye Freedom, I think is the title. And inside this house, designed by Richard Woods, he also did these canvases of windows. You also have another painting by B. Wing. And this is a piece by Piet van den Boog. This is from Zemak Art Gallery, brought it in. And it had this very lovely organic but still kind of hipster feel. And I zoomed in on it because usually you see mixed media used when they describe paintings like this, but he listed all of it: acrylic and oil on lead, black patina, azurite, iron oxide, lead white, inkjet print on Japanese paper. And you really see how that medium renders itself, and it's very different from everything else. Alright, so Atelier Aki is a South Korean gallery, and this is by Kwon Young, who's also a South Korean artist, and I always love these paintings. I've seen them several times already at art fairs, and kind of the pieces are cities and spots where art fairs happen. So, everyone can relate to it. You zoom in, you see these cityscapes and pop culture icons in there. You have cartoon characters, but you also have like Marilyn Monroe, Cause, what's his name, the guy who teaches painting, Bob Ross, and people always feel very connected. There's always a crowd around these paintings. This one is of Hong Kong, Mong Kok, a very famous station everybody's familiar walking out of. And that familiarity really helps make you feel at home. So these are by Chihiro Nakahara. And Nakahara is known for her fantastical landscapes. And these characters are kind of reimagined and reinterpreted into sculpture.
So we're here at Zemak Contemporary Art. We have some Peter Halley. Next to some Alex Katz. And a little bit of Cause. It's one of my favorite concepts of Cause, where he has the hands covering the eyes, full of fear. And after that, one of my real favorites, this is Damien Hirst, 2010. And the reason I like this thing is because it uses one of my favorite mediums, household gloss on canvas. It's poison. So now it's 4 o'clock. We got to make our way over to the vernissage over at Art Basel. We've only done about half of Art Central. There are two tents. There's this one we're in. There's another one over there. A lot of interesting things through the door, but I'm gonna hold out. I will come back, but right now we got to make our way over to Art Basel. Halfway through this show, my thoughts are that this is certainly the more hip of the two shows, but it's very clear what kind of audience this show is for, and it's much younger, much more contemporary. I mean, look at this. A to Z art gallery. I believe this is Jono To. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So it says acrylic polymer on canvas. But kind of by definition, it's a sculpture. So you can see it protrudes out from the wall. It creates a little bit more of an experience for the viewer. And one of the reasons you want to come to an art fair like this is so that you can get these experiences and move your heads around them. I didn't put it in yesterday's video, but I want to put it in today's video. I want to juxtapose these sculptures with some sculptures made by the Anish Kapoor that we saw yesterday at Art Basel. So not this show, at the other show, where he used similar shapes in his sculptures, but just the way that the dimensionality worked in the space, you have to get your head around it to really understand. And when you get your head around it, literally, it really messes with you. And it really opens up your mind to like the idea of perception and how sculptural form is not just about the form itself, but about how the public, how the viewer interacts with the work. All right, so we're gonna pop out. This is the section we're gonna come back and visit tomorrow. I always love the UOB Art Academy. They're one of the very few activations that I think are always very well executed. But for now, we gotta run over there, out the door, into the convention center.